And now, live in studio, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
Yes, here we are again, another day here, committed to being your consumer advocate, all about helping you win in any marketplace here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. We bring in all types of expert contributors on the program, and it's all about helping you understand more about your buying decisions, making you just a bit more street smart here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, Tampa Bay and the Gulf Coast region's #1 consumer advocate show right here, based out of Salem Communications in Tampa. You can find his 5 o'clock drive time on 1380 The Biz. Coming up in September, we're moving to AM 860 The Answer. We're real excited about that. We're going to be at the 4 o'clock drive time there. And we have our weekend show on FM 102.5 The Bone. Now, we syndicate all of our content also on Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Sony TV, and about 85 other smart TV outlets. All you have to do is search Binge Networks, and you can find our shows there. And we're actually talking with Netflix now as well. But we want you to bookmark our website, consumerqb.com. A plethora of information available for you on our website at consumerqb.com. I love it when our listeners, our TV show viewers, they go on and they actually submit an email form, and that comes through, and it's like, hey, can you elaborate a little bit more about solar technologies? Can you elaborate a little bit more about those VA veteran loan programs that we have? I love that. I love getting that feedback from you, our radio family out there. Also, bookmark or save our phone number in your phone, 813-670-7372. That's our consumer advocate hotline number. Save that number. At some point, you're going to need it. We want you to think of us as your super connector. We're here to help connect you with the best professionals in the greater Tampa Bay area, the Gulf Coast region of Florida. And it's Intelligent Talk Radio. I've got some intelligent folks here in studio with me today. Diane, Vance, welcome back in. Fairway Independent Mortgage.
Hey, Brandon. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Yeah. I'm really excited about the Veterans I'm going to read it.
Yeah,
Veterans and Heroes Real Estate Success Summit. I'm very excited about that.
That's right. Yeah, coming up. That's going to be a good one. It's September 12th, Thursday, September 12th, 6 to 9 p.m. It's at the American Legion Post number 5. It's one of the most famous post legions in the United States, according to Captain Matt Bruce, who's going to be one of our speakers there on September 12th, 6 to 9 p.m. Catered food from Amici's Catered Cuisine. Excellent food. And we're going to have some great knowledge in the room. It's going to be you talking about mortgages, right. My real estate team, we're going to talk about some real estate strategies. Captain Matt Bruce is going to talk a lot about for veterans, what some of the benefits that they are missing. They're missing out on them and they don't even know about them. So the best in the business give you all you didn't know that you need to know at the Veterans and Heroes Real Estate Success Summit coming up very soon.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks. It's going to be a lot of fun. Travis McIntire back in studio as well. 3D Solar, welcome in.
Thank you, sir. Always a pleasure to be here and always an honor to talk about solar.
Yeah, man. So a lot of good things happening in your industry.
Absolutely. Exploding like crazy. It's crazy, but it's fun. It's and a lot of fun helping people save money and helping the world a little bit along the way.
Tampa Bay Business Journal's Fast 50.
Number 8.
Coming in at number 8 now. Wow. That says a lot.
So proud of that. And it's a whole team thing. When you see a trophy, you don't realize the teamwork that goes behind that. So we've got a fantastic team, and hopefully next year we'll be number 7.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I like that. All right, so we got a great lineup for you here today on the show. We got a feel-good story. I'm going to talk a little bit about negotiation in the lightning round as well. I've got some interesting content coming up. I'm going to talk to you about the 3 types of negotiators that you have. You got an analyst, you got an accommodator, and you got an assertive. I'm going to talk to you about how that applies to you in your negotiations and your sales and all those strategies that you might want to learn about. And this segment is brought to you by the Lucky Dill Restaurant. The official restaurant partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show is the Lucky Dill Deli. They've got a great restaurant, a deli, New York City bar, Brooklyn Bakery. They do catering as well. And it's home of the sandwich that ate Brooklyn. Excellent food, very friendly staff. And they've got 2 locations in Tampa Bay, 4606 West Boy Scout Boulevard in Tampa They've got a location on US 19 North in Palm Harbor, and they're online at luckydilldeli.com. Make sure you let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you and take them up on the special offers and incentives just by mentioning that you're a fan of the Consumer Quarterback Show. All right, got a hot listing on the beach, 861 Mandalay Avenue, Clearwater Beach. Gorgeous property. And we just got the professional photography completed, compliments of Fabre Framework. So 861 Mandalay Avenue, Clearwater Beach, 2-bedroom, 2-bath. Now, this could be a 3-bedroom. It's got a window, but it doesn't have a closet. So it's got that 3rd bedroom back there. Kind of a unique setup for an air-conditioned bedroom. Right on the beach, literally 200 steps, and you are walking on the beautiful sugar sand and dolphin-filled waters of beautiful Clearwater Beach right here in Tampa Bay. Check out PlatinumMVPTeam.com. All right, let's jump right into it. So we've got Diane, Vance in the house. You know, there's so much talk. I listen to a lot of talk radio, and they're talking about the bond market is very strong. You know, so the money's been going in the bond market, and then you look at, what everybody wants to talk about is the equity markets. You know, what's the Dow Jones Industrial Average doing? What's the, and then you look at what's going on with the job market. Right. So it's a complex, machine.
Lots of different
economy.
things. Yeah, a lot of different economics go into mortgage rates.
Right.
Now, as everybody puts money in the bond market, what happens is that causes your mortgage rates to go down. Mm-hmm. So part of it, but it's a whole plethora of jobs, economies, what the mortgage-backed securities are actually doing, what are they selling for. So it kind of depends on what is going on in the economy. I had somebody the other day, I'm not going to repeat what he thinks. It's a famous mortgage-backed person that tells me what he thinks the interest rates are going to be.
Okay.
And they're actually even lower than what they are now. So it's kind of a crazy time right now. But we're in a global economy.
That's right.
So even though we are fairly, there's some things to be a little concerned about, but we're in a global economy, so that kind of makes a difference on interest rates.
Yeah, we're all connected. It's a world economy, and a lot of these other leaders, world country leaders, there's big problems going on in Hong Kong and China. Correct. Now. There's Germany's at a negative interest rate.
Can you imagine having to pay somebody to put your money in the bank?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. let me let you hold my money.
Yeah,
no thanks.
That might have a problem on my end, because then they're going to put it in their mattress or something.
Yeah.
Under their mattress, because they're not going to pay somebody to hold the money for them.
How are you going to document it?
Yeah, we can't do that. Can't use cash.
And that's why people, that's why some people are saying, hey, this Bitcoin thing might be for real. This cryptocurrency. Yeah. A lot of people are talking about
true.
that too.
I didn't think about that. You're right. As your negative, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, and so it's interesting. It's a complex world out there. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of areas that you want to be concerned about. Kind of like Stephen Covey said, you have this sphere of concern and this sphere of influence. So it's so important now more than ever to focus on those things that you can control, those things that's within your family or your team, and what you can do to move that needle toward success on a daily basis. And a lot of it comes back down to long-term thinking. Mm-hmm. The story. Dr. Banfield from Harvard conducted that 50-year study. It's one of my favorite stories that I talk about. But the number one thing was the number one determinant of success was your long-term thinking, your long-term planning. So how does that apply to mortgage?
Well, you definitely have to think long term. Somebody has to start somewhere, though, right? So, so if you, if you're thinking about buying a house within the next year, 2 years, it doesn't matter how long it is, start planning. Talk to somebody that is an expert. And so I enjoy educating, and I enjoy helping people and educating them about the mortgage process. But it starts out as, let's look at your credit. I had a young couple in the other day, and they didn't have a high enough credit score to be able to purchase right now, but we set up a plan for them to actually be able to purchase next year. So you need to just start planning and start saving, or if you have family members that can help you. And as far as VA loans, that's a 0% down. That's a benefit that all veterans have. So a 0 down program that helps them tremendously. But if I brought some stats on if you're paying rent today. Mm-hmm. If you're paying rent of $1,480, I don't know why it came up $1,480, but it came up $1,480.
That's a good feng shui number.
Yeah, I
Lindsay
guess so.
Would say it's got
okay,
eights
thank
in
you,
it.
Lindsay.
That's a good feng shui. Yeah.
And over a 60-month period, you are actually paying your landlord $88,802.
Wow.
And if you, over the same 60-month period, if you own a house and you're paying that same payment, you're going to have a principal of $17,154.
Wow.
So it's over 15 years, it's even more mind-boggling. So you talk about long-term planning,
exactly,
which comes with wealth management, and over a long-term 15 years, you're paying somebody else's mortgage, and you're paying out $266,418.
Wow.
And your principal is $65,506, and that isn't even with the appreciation.
Yeah, that doesn't take into account that that asset's going to appreciate 3 to 5%, possibly even 8 to 10%, and the value of the property is going to be that much better, and it's going to give you, then sometimes you say, oh, well, liquidity. Sometimes you can access a home equity line if something happens and the car breaks down. You got to, so there's so many things that real estate gives you as an advantage.
Well, and I'm big on, people always ask me, should I put a lot of money down? No, because you can't spend your equity in your house. It's just sitting there.
Right.
And everybody always wants to pay off their mortgage, right? That's what our parents told us to do.
Exactly, yeah.
Well, unfortunately, what happens, that's how I end up doing reverse mortgages as when they get older, because they want the equity out of their house.
They need the equity out, yeah.
So right now it's cheap money.
Cheap money.
I mean, you should be able to earn more than, whatever, depending on your credit score.
And Trump wants to make it cheaper, doesn't he?
Yeah, somebody wants to make it cheaper.
He keeps hammering on him.
The feds?
The Fed, yeah. He's hammering on him.
I feel sorry for Jerome Powell.
Yeah, he's getting beat up lately.
Yeah.
All right, well, some great stuff here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Talking some real estate coming up. We're going to be talking about solar and how you can increase your efficiencies on your home, make it safer, better for the environment. Just a great picture coming from Travis McIntire here. He's from 3D Solar. And Diane Vance in the house is where Fairway Independent Mortgage, and more from our expert contributors. So do not touch that dial. We're going to be right back after this short break, and we got a feel-good story of the day coming up for you here. We'll be right back.
This is Warwick Dunn, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
This is the Cannabis Podcast, powered by True Leaf on Radio Influence. It's an inside look and the scientific facts in and around the world of medical cannabis. Now, here is your host, Ian Beckles.
He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here. I'm your host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. My wife and I own a top team in the Tampa Bay market, and we have 15 agents on our team now, really growing and excited about the growth. And it's all about helping our listeners out there, our radio and TV show family, buyers, sellers, and investors. We'd love to help you with your real estate search and negotiations. I'm also a negotiation expert, and I teach classes at GTAR and Pro. Check out PlatinumMVPteam.com for all your real estate needs. PlatinumMVPteam.com. And this segment is brought to you by the Bilmar Beach Resort, our official hotel partner on the beach in Treasure Island on Gulf Boulevard. The Bilmar Beach Resort is a beautiful place close to Tampa Bay here, so it's great for a local staycation. There's 2 pools on site, a long beach, just a gorgeous beach there. Lots to do, fire pits, all types of amenities, bikes, and they've got go-kart rentals and all kinds of cool stuff over at the Bilmar Beach Resort, the official hotel partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Now, Clyde Smith, the general manager, says book direct. You always get the best price if you book direct with them and not one of these discount website type deals. So, Bilmar Beach Resort, the official hotel partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. And we have our Veterans and Heroes Real Estate Success Summit coming up very soon here on September 12th. It's Thursday, September 12th, 6 to 9 p.m. at the American Legion, post number 5, which is right on Kennedy Boulevard in South Tampa, just on the west side of Del Mabry. So Captain Matt Bruce and Brandon Rhymes, the Consumer Quarterback, present a night to give back the best in the Tampa Bay business area. It's going to help you understand more of those things that you may not understand around credit, estate planning, tax planning, real estate benefits, insurance benefits as well. So it's veterans, first responders, active military, seniors. Let's get them all in there, and we're going to also offer some awesome catering from Michi's Cater Cuisine as well. All right, so in studio today we got Diane, Vance, Fairway Independent Mortgage. We're going to hear more from her, but now we're going to shift gears. We're going to talk solar with Travis from 3D Solar.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
man.
I'm proud to be here. And you mentioned earlier the show as far as the 8th fastest growing out of 50 companies in Tampa Bay. And what that number means is a 259% growth rate over last year alone. That's a lot of growth really fast.
Wow.
But what I'm very proud of about David Ringo, the owner, is that it's a managed growth. We're not hiring people off, day laborers. No offense to any day labor, but
Yep.
with solar, you got to know what you're doing. If I'm going to put up someone on a roof, drilling a hole when we get 40 inches of rain a year, you better know what you're doing.
Yep.
And the one thing David Ringo's doing, he's managing the growth. He's making sure the crews are well trained, that the homeowners are getting exactly what they want, and that's no electric bill. So
That's
it's
awesome.
nice to be involved in it.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, just for example, a lot of our expert contributors here on the show, I can say from firsthand experience that I've worked with them. I highly recommend them. Brothers Easy Moving, I highly recommend. Several of our partners, Fred DeFelice with WaterScience.us, several partners, but with Travis as well. You sat down, you educated my wife and I on what solar could mean for us, and it was just a quick summarization, from the consumer perspective here.
Yeah.
So we have normally a $450 or $500 electric bill. Mm-hmm. You come in and say, hey, we're going to install these and you look at each roof. Each roof's different. You got to see where the southern exposure, the western exposure for the sun. So you said, hey, rather than paying $450 a month and it continuing to increase, mm-hmm. you said we can get you a solar package that's going to drop your payment to about $180, $200 a month. And so you're going to save money from day one. You're going to get tax incentives, and it's probably going to be paid off in about 7, 8, 9 years.
That's correct. People pay it off early, save your money, because an
Yeah.
average inflation utility is about 4 to 5% a year.
Yes.
So if you figure if you're going to be in your home over 10 years, that's 50% more that you're going to be paying for your electric bill. Mm-hmm. The advantage with solar, there is an end to the payment because you own the system.
Yeah.
And if anybody has been paying attention to the paper lately, I know the Tampa Times is really working hard on this to make Florida realize there's a monopoly here. We've got TECO, we've got Duke and FPL and a couple others. Who else do we have to buy our electricity from?
That's right.
We don't. But besides decide, solar, own your system, get it on the roof, pay it off, and then it's yours.
And it seems like they're doing anything they can to try to reposition the game, change the rules of the game, right? If you can't win the game, let's change the rules of the game. It seems like that's what they're trying to do.
I agree with that. And we could take one or two approaches to that. We could take let's attack Duke, or we could say, hey, let's educate the customer.
Yes.
And I prefer that. I mean, I go to my job sites, and so do my salespeople. So when I sell you a job, you're going to see me when the installers are there. I'm going to have lunch in my hands with the guys because they're up there on a 120-degree roof. Gosh darn, they deserve a good meal.
Yeah.
I give them Gatorades. The homeowner sees me there. And then at the end of the job, as you'll see me, I'll be there. And when the system's turned on, I show you how to use it. I talk to you. I answer your questions. Because in solar, when a salesman is in your home or salesperson, they're going to be there about an hour, 2 hours. And when they leave, you're going to forget probably 70% of what they told you.
Yeah.
So the questions with solar come after the sale, not before. And you got to be able to depend on your sales rep to pick that phone up and say, how can I help you?
Yeah.
And oftentimes you get voicemail. You don't get any type of customer service, and that is ridiculous. And that's hurting the solar business.
Yeah. It's the same in real estate. You get some realtors that are bad apples, mortgage, Diane, there's some in the industry you see that, you hear these stories about, and you look at the pictures online and you kind of see all the clues that kind of lead to, yes, so in the industry, there's good, better, and best. I always like to say I'm the best, I work with the best, and we really prove that with our results and what we offer. So 3D Solar, Travis McIntire here in studio. The website is 3-dsolar.com, I believe.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so 3-dsolar.com is the website. But the incentives are going away, I believe, right, at the end of this year?
Well, they're going down to 26%. They are trying to keep them at 30%, but who knows what will happen. It's you're kind of nervous in the solar business what they're trying to do because we're taking profit away from these large companies, and they don't want to do that. But what I'm after, and having solar on my own home, I'm married to an accountant, so I had to show savings and prove it. Gosh darn it!
There you go.
And thank God it's doing what I told her it would do. Oh my goodness!
Okay, there you go.
My life is a spreadsheet, but on the spreadsheet every month we see the savings that I promised her, and I'm so proud of that because when I sit in front of somebody and I'm talking solar to them, I can talk to them because I have it on my own house, and I want these homeowners to ask the sales rep, do you have solar on your house? And if they say no, okay, then you studied in a book. You really don't know what solar is going to do.
Right.
I do because I have it and I see the savings every month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So your wife would be what they call an analyst in a negotiation style, right?
She's the love of my life and my best friend, but yes, she is. By
and
gosh.
then you got the assertive, you got the accommodator,
and then we have why did you go to Publix and take $20 cash back? Yeah. So we have those moments as well. But she's awesome, and I'm lucky.
Yeah, that's great, man. So
super exciting though. There's one thing that just happened here a couple weeks ago. We are now certified and qualified under a general contractor.
Nice.
Which is game changing for the homeowner because now, if you need a new roof, because I'm not putting solar on a 20-year-old roof, I'm not going to do it because I know in a year you're going to have to change that gosh darn roof, and then what are you going to do? Yeah. So now I can sit in front of you and say, hey, you need a roof? No problem. You want an AC wrapped in with that? Let's do it. Yeah. And what people don't realize is when you roll the roof in, you get a 30% tax credit on the portions of the roof that solar goes on. So if you have a $10,000 roof and both sides have solar, you get $3,000 off on that roof. Yeah. It's fantastic to be able to do that.
So it's interesting, I'm thinking here how this might relate with Diane. You guys have access to a refinance, maybe eliminate some PI, cash out, also, potentially home equity lines to pay for some of this as well.
Yes. Renovation loans, that type of thing, of everything you just mentioned. And we have a lot of old roofs in the Tampa Bay area. Yes. It seems as though, and I think I finance every one of them.
Yeah, you find them.
We're going to talk later.
Lots and lots of old roofs. But it definitely, you could do an equity line. If I can't do it, I actually have a very good contact that can do it, or even it could even be just a personal loan. So it doesn't actually have to be an equity loan. So it just depends on the situation. So I have a lot of contacts for that type of stuff. Yeah. But it's in the Tampa Bay area, we don't have a lot of room to build, right? So you have to go in and renovate or upgrade and update roofs and air conditioning to meet what is called a 4-point. You're very familiar with that.
4-point inspection.
Yeah, 4-point inspections, so that you can get a discount on your insurance and things like that.
That's
right. I'm sure the solar probably actually gives you insurance discounts as well.
Yes, right? Absolutely. And if you have over a large system, you may need a Tier 2 insurance required by utilities, but it's nice to have good contacts and people you can trust. And what I try to do is build a team of professional people with the customer's interest in mind. If somebody's more interested in a kickback or making money, you're not for me to my team. I want somebody that wants a happy customer. Because what people realize, when you get a happy customer, you just might get 5 more, because the neighbors are going to see the system, and if it's installed properly, let's make this thing grow together. That's what I say.
That's right. Yeah. So do you guys have incentives for your customers?
We do, absolutely. We like to offer a referral bonus. Yes, you're buying your lead, but it's better than putting an ad in the paper. And we want to offer people something, say, thank you so much for doing this.
Yeah.
And then the homeowner, once they get their electric bill from the referral, they're going to say thank you too.
Yeah, exactly.
And another referral. And that's the way it should be.
And we got about a minute left here, but one of the biggest misconceptions is that if you have solar, you can, if there's a hurricane, whatever, you're off the grid, you at least have solar, but you can't in some cases, right? Because it's going to backfeed the lines. Is that what I've heard?
That's exactly right. It's for safety for anybody. If a lineman's working on the road, load comes up, they don't know it's there. But I will say this, the future is bright for solar, and the technology coming is next 3 to 5 years. I'm pretty sure that they'll be able to take that on and help a homeowner as well.
Nice. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, there's a lot of technology. That's the cool thing about technology is every year it gets better, and it just seems to be, I bought a TV for my office the other. I couldn't believe it was like $199 for a 40-inch, whatever. But I remember back in the day that was a big ticket item. That's over $1,200 back in the day,
Yeah, it is amazing how growth is. It's just fun to see it. I'm so very proud to be a part of it, because the world's going to be a better place. Every single system I sell, I'm going to reduce a carbon footprint, and that's what I'm after.
Yes.
And I help people save money along the way, so it's a win-win situation for me and for 3D Solar.
Absolutely. All right, stay with us right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. When we come back, more from our expert contributors here in studio, and our feel-good story of the day. Firefighters build path for woman in wheelchair seen struggling to get in her home. Right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Hey, this is Jarek Robbins. You are listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show with Brandon Rhymes. Please do what it takes to learn all that you have to live the life you want to live it fully, and find a way to give it by paying it forward to others.
Get in touch with Brandon online at consumerqb.com.
This is the Cannabis Podcast, powered by Trulieve on Radio Influence. It's an inside look and the scientific facts in and around the world of medical cannabis. Now, here is your host, Ian Beckles.
He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, helping you win in any marketplace, helping our sellers maximize the exposure on the sale of their real estate properties. I've got a hot property here in Tampa on Schooner Way. This is in the Bayport area, kind of close to Longboat, Town and Country, waterfront property, 5822 Schooner Way in Tampa. 2-story home on a freshwater canal with the boat dock that leads out to the bay. So you can take your boat right on out and have some dinner at those restaurants like you got over there. You've got Bahama Breeze, Whiskey Joe's, those restaurants there, and a pretty cool spot, right there in Tampa, Town and Country. Beautiful property. We just reduced the price $10,000 as well, so that's a very motivated seller at that property there. 2053 Heartland. We get a property on Heartland Circle as well. 2053 Heartland, and this property's in Valrico, just listed, very clean, just a nice community as well, and it's a great property listing. Check out all of our properties at PlatinumMVPTeam.com.
Somewhere sunny and 75.
And this segment is brought to you by Brothers Easy Moving. The official moving partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show is Brothers Easy Moving. And I can tell you from firsthand experience that they are a first-class organization. They do a great job, local or even long-distance moves. We want you reaching out to Brothers Easy Moving, the official moving partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. All right, back here in studio, we want to help you win. That's our goal here with the Consumer Quarterback Show. 6 years on air now, and it's all about bringing in expert contributors that can help you understand more about your buying decisions and making you just a bit more street smart. And we've got one of the best in studio here to my right, Diane, Vance, Fairway Independent Mortgage, and also Travis McIntire, 3D Solar. So many positive areas to talk about on the solar side. I want to go back to Diane and talk a little bit about these renovation loans, because I think the renovation loans could play into some of the things we're talking about here with Travis. There's so many ways that these loans can come in and change people's perspective about real estate.
Oh yeah, you could if you like the neighborhood and you just go in and it's just not that footprint you want inside the house, opening up walls, whatever it is. You just hire a general contractor, new roofs, new kitchen, new bathrooms, whatever, and you can actually add that to the sales price, and then your down payment is taken from there.
Yeah.
So it's a win-win situation for the homeowner as long as the appraised value supports that, and it typically is close, but your realtor would be able to tell you that.
Yeah.
But you can go in and some of these ugly houses out there that you just don't love, but you like where it's at, and you kind of like the bedrooms, and you just want to change a couple of things or change a lot of things. I don't know if you guys watch HGTV, but I do all the time. It's one of my favorite things. And they do a lot of renovation loans, and that's how they do it. Is they do renovation loans, basically. And so they come in and they gut the house and they renovate the entire house to get the house of their dreams.
Yeah.
So it's don't let it scare you if it's ugly.
Yeah, and or if it's 2 bedrooms and you got 3 kids, those scenarios that come out, because you can make a bedroom.
Yeah, you can add on. Right.
Close in a garage, whatever you have to do. You got to call the county and make sure, and that's where the builder's going to help you walk through that process of getting. Maybe you need a variance. There's different things that you can do in that space, but the renovation loans really help people a lot. Let's talk about renters. That's one of my biggest, where my heart goes out to these renters, because you gave a great example early on. If you're paying rent around $1,480 a month. You're over 60 months, so over 5 years, which sometimes people, they're renting for a while. $88,802 is paid to the landlord.
Yeah, you waste.
Yeah. You live in there,
you know
the
there,
whole thing. But I can't throw the cool parties. You can't change the paint colors in some cases. You can't make additions or those types of things. Now, let's carry that out to what did we say after that? It was 60 or 30 years or 15 years. 15 years now. You're paying $65,000 for that same example into the mortgage, correct? Or into the landlord.
No, it was $266,000.
$266,000. That's it. Yeah, into the landlord.
Yes.
And then the
equity was $60,000.
Yeah, $17,000 and $65,000. Right. Yep. So that's that's a lot of money that people are throwing away, essentially, just not understanding how easy it is to qualify. Now, It's not crazy irrational loan programs like it used to be, but it's pretty darn close. We're getting to where you can qualify using other people's gift funds from families. You can set up a GoFundMe account.
definitely gotten easier as the economy's strengthened, and as the crisis went away and the crash, we got further and further away from it. And you can't get the no income, the balloon type loans and the interest only type loans. You can get those, but those are very special products that are there's tight guidelines on those.
Higher
but
scores.
the normal guidelines, people can purchase with as little as 3% down, 3.5% down to 580 credit scores. So if you have below that, we can help you get there. But it's definitely, there's no reason not to purchase a home in today's market.
Yeah.
They're really, interest rates are very good, and rent is going to continue to go up. You don't have, there is no cap on the rent. It's not like a rent cap like in New York City or something like that. You don't have any control over your landlord.
Right.
And sometimes you have to move more often than not because your rent might be going up more than what your actual income is going.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, if you really look at it, you're forced out into areas maybe outside like Wesley Chapel or who knows Wauchula or where, all these different places. You're forced out, and we've had the development center on the show one time talking about Pinellas County, how the average incomes don't match up with the average median home.
That's true.
The average median home price. So there's a lot of challenges. So to get into the ownership game now makes a lot of sense because it's only going to continue to increase.
That's correct.
It's only going to be more valuable.
A lot of people are moving to Florida. It's all supply and demand. There's not a lot of houses on the market, so you want to get in while it is while you can.
Yeah, all types of different scenarios. People moving from Hawaii for certain, there's all these different moves that are happening. Government or not government, military. We're a great military base here in Tampa Bay. So MacDill, there's a lot of influx of people. So let's do a rent versus own analysis for the first 3 listeners. If you text the word rent and the amount of rent that you're paying to our Consumer Advocate Hotline, just go ahead and give us a text or a call to 813-670-7372. That's our Consumer Advocate Hotline number. We're going to hook you up with a rent versus own analysis. Diane Vance and her team at Fairway Independent Mortgage are going to put that together for you. Email it to you. That way you and your significant other can go over those numbers. Sit down and crunch those numbers. Really look at it. Set up a budget. Determine how much we want to pay to our housing expenses versus entertainment and movies and it seems like Starbucks always gets picked on when you start talking about that, right? Disposable income. So save the disposable income. Put it into an asset that's really going to help you leave a better legacy for your family, build up equity over time. There's awesome tax advantages. We can get you talking to Jake Alexander at Alexander Financial about the tax incentives there. But text the word rent to 813-670-7372. Don't forget our number. Save our hotline number in your phone, by the way, 813-670-7372. And we'll get Diane Vance. Now, Diane, what's that going to look like once we get that call and we refer that lead over to you? What's the follow-up going to be?
I will call you and email you, and then if I have the amount, if I can. Some of them are, sometimes I think the 375 one, those kind of hard to do, but
yeah, that was a small one. Yeah,
But we'll go ahead and I'll send you an analysis. Is what I'll do.
Yeah, that was an odd one. We got a 375 text the other day. I was like, what are they renting a room or
no?
Was that a
I
studio?
think it was probably shared, maybe with the other. Maybe they're sharing with other people. It could be just their portion or something like
somewhere.
that. Right. That exactly.
That's right.
Yep. So it may not be $375, but you'll be able to get into something.
yeah, we'll see. But hey, that's a great situation though. Think about it. If that person has good credit, they can afford somewhere around the $400 or $500 payment. They get a roommate, so are you allowed to have non-occupying co-borrowers and co-borrowers, like all these different situations,
you can have co-signers, parents. You could have non-occupant co-borrowers, co-signers to help you with your income. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. You can't really use border income or land, where you're renting a room. But there's a lot of options, and most parents. I helped every one of my children, gift them the down payment. They had the job, so as long as I didn't, I wasn't on the loan, but I could be, and a lot of parents will help their children.
Yeah, and I love that GoFundMe idea. If you're getting married, if you're engaged and you got a wedding coming up, start a GoFundMe account. Say, hey, instead of buying me new linens for my beds and all these different plates and stuff for the the candles and all that, tell them to put some money into a down payment fund for you, and that's going to really change your life, and that's going to really make you disciplined. If you're not already disciplined, it's going to help you be disciplined, Diane. You know, that's one of those things. You got to pay your mortgage every month, $1,500, $1,800, whatever that number is, you know, and that's an actual savings program.
Absolutely. Yeah, you sit down. If you sit down with me, I can help you with a budget and tell you, okay, this is how much you bring in. A lot of people get really confused about budgets.
Yes.
We don't include so if you're renting, we aren't going to include your electric bill and your, you know, those type things, because you're going to have a new electric bill.
Right.
So we just include your actual debt.
Yes.
Yeah. So your credit card minimum payments, your car payments, things like that. So people get very confused about that.
All right. Excellent stuff. Check out DianeVance.com. DianeVance.com. Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation, and more from our expert contributors as well. Travis McIntire coming up. Our feel-good story of the day, and we're going to jump into our lightning round with our top tips and nuggets of advice from our expert contributors. So when we come back, firefighters build path for woman in wheelchair seen struggling to get in her home. Find out about that, our lightning round, and more from our expert contributors right after this short break. Don't go anywhere.
This is Chris Voss, former FBI lead hostage negotiator and owner of the Black Swan Group, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show, hosted by my friend Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. Ian Beckles that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
And we're back. Brandon Rhymes here, host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. Giving a shout out to our friends at Replenish IV Solutions. Go say hello to Steve and Lisa Gunnan at Replenish IV Solutions. They got an office on South Tampa on Gandy, and they've got an office on Bears Avenue up in North Del Mabry area. Replenish IV Solutions is IV therapy. You're directly getting into your bloodstream vitamins and nutrients and all the good stuff that you need. I go about once a month and go go check in with them. They've got a South Tampa office on Gandy, North Tampa, and Carrollwood as well. Replenish IV Solutions, and they're friendly staff over there. They got nurses on staff, so they're going to hook you up and get that proverbial oil change there going, get you some vitamins pumped into you, making you more healthy there. Replenish IV Solutions, show partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. And every day we're going to tell you something positive in our feel-good story of the day, and today we've got a good one.
Tell me something good.
All right, so firefighters build path for woman in wheelchair seen struggling to get in her home. So this was in Missouri. A group of firefighters were being praised for helping a resident in a wheelchair on their free time. When responding to a recent call, members of the Webster Groves Fire Department noticed a woman in a wheelchair falling over trying to enter her home. Quote, multiple stairs or an uneven terrain unfortunately led to the resident falling over in her wheelchair while trying to enter the house. Luckily, the patient was uninjured, but we saw an opportunity to help, the department wrote on Facebook. The firefighters spent several off days digging out and pouring a new sidewalk for her. So she will now have a level pathway and ramp to access her home. A huge thank you goes out to the members that spent their days off helping those in need, the department said. Wow, that's nice selfless work there. That's pretty cool. I love hearing those stories, the feel-good stories. Nice. Firefighters, seems like they always step up. You know?
Yeah.
The firefighters, the police officers, first responders.
Yeah, they have to, right?
That's right.
They're that helping person.
That's right.
Yeah, they're one of the nurturers, right? Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, right. Yeah, kind of similar. We'll see that. We'll see how that plays out. We'll talk about that in the lightning round. So speaking of the lightning round, let's jump into it. We got Diane and Vance here in studio. Fairway Independent Mortgage, Travis McIntire, and representing 3D Solar. So let's go ahead and jump right into our lightning round.
The lightning round!
I am so good at lightning rounds!
I majored in lightning round.
All right, let's start with ladies first. Diane Vance, Fairway Independent Mortgage. Top tips, nuggets of advice, words of wisdom.
Well, stop renting. Go to my website, www.dianevance, that's V as in Victor.com. And if you just want to pull the credit report, apply now, and I'll follow up with you and tell you what you need to do.
I like it.
Yep.
Good stuff. Make the move now. You know.
Yeah,
the longer
absolutely.
you wait, the chances of rates going up,
Yeah,
prices of properties going up. Travis McIntire, 3D Solar.
I'm going to say the same thing. Stop renting your electricity. Own it. Each month that you have a payment on your electric bill and you send it to Duke or to Tico, you're renting. When you own your electricity, it's yours.
Yeah.
And don't fall into the guerrilla marketing that solar is free. That's ridiculous. Nothing's free.
Yeah.
Call 3D Solar. Get a free assessment. There's no pushy salesman coming to your home, and we'll assess it, and we'll walk out the door. If you purchase it, we'll help you get it.
Yes, I like it. All right, so I got some negotiation tips. Again, compliments of my friend Chris Voss, Black Swan Group, former BI lead international hostagator. But he talks about when you're negotiating anything, really, you know, the golden rule does not apply. We've all heard this golden rule: treat others as you want to be treated. Well, not in negotiations. You've got to really think about the personality type that you're speaking with. So, you know, for example, if you value directness and you're very direct with, you know, another personality type, they may not understand that. They may not approve that, and it's going to affect your negotiation negatively. So you want to treat your counterpart how they wish to be treated. So there's three types. There's an analyst, an accommodator, and assertive. And I'm going to quickly go through the three types here. So an analyst, how they see themselves as realistic, prepared, smart. And how they may be seen by others is cold or standoffish. And their view of business relationships, as long as they aren't causing conflict, they are actively preserving the relationship. So they care about acquiring facts and info. They want to know what the facts are. What's the information that I need to know? Negotiation mindset is time is preparation. Silence is time to think. Okay, so there's a lot more tools here. It goes down and talks about tools. Labels are the best tools to use specifically to compare analysis. And you want to use data and how to give them back. Show them you're ready to get something accomplished. And so that's your analyst. An accommodator. Okay, so accommodator, I'm going to do accommodator last because it's kind of a combination of these two, for the first two. So analyst. Now assertive. So an assertive is kind of my style. How they see themselves: honest, logical, direct. How they may be seen by others: emotional, aggressive, harsh. The view of the business relationship needs mutual respect, nothing more, nothing less. And they care about being heard. Negotiation mindset, time equals money. They're in a hurry to get the deal done. They'd rather get it done, partially and then hand it off to someone else. Silence is the opportunity to speak. Okay, so see where that can be a direct antagonist to the analyst. The analyst sees silence as a time to think. We see silence, and assertive sees silence as an opportunity to speak. So a lot of times that's what happens when you look at that. So use mirrors on assertive people. If you use a mirror, that's going to be the Jedi mind trick for you. Using a mirror when you're talking to an assertive, and rules on reciprocity, giving them inch, they'll take a mile on an assertive type. All right, so an accommodator is kind of a combination of those two. How they see themselves, they're personable, conversational, relationship focused. Okay, very relationship focused is the accommodator. How they may seem by others, friendly and too talkative. Okay, so views of the business relationship. The relationship is most important. They care about building relationships. Negotiation mindset. Time equals relationship building. Silence is upsetting, and it indicates anger to them. So it's interesting how you have these different types of negotiators, and that's really where you want to study your counterpart and understand, are you going to use mirrors more? Are you going to use labels, maybe a good summary? And of course, you want to use that tactical silence and utilize those tools when it comes to your negotiations. All right, let's do another round here. So we got Diane, Vance in studio, Fairway Independent Mortgage, again, supporting the local economy, local lender here in the Tampa Bay market.
Yeah, and yes, I have 16 loan officers and about 30 people that work for me, and we have big teams, and we're here to help you. And again, it's www.dianevance.com.
Excellent. All right, Travis McIntire, 3D Solar. Give us some more tips.
Make sure your system's sized right. It's the biggest mistake people are making. If you have a $300 electric bill, 30 panels is not going to do it. So just make sure you have a professional that's well-trained, that cares about seeing your neighbor and not just getting the contract and getting out the door. Solar is a serious responsibility to sell. Make sure it's done the right way.
Yeah, I like that. And if you get a quote that says, hey, well, this quote was a little bit better, this quote, what would be the main thing that you want to look at?
I think reviews. I mean, a lot of the people, when I call them, they're scared to death. And so I say the people that wrote the reviews that think that, hey, 3D Solar did a great job, they were scared too. Mm-hmm. So, and if you see the reviews and go to see the installations, see if there's conduit wrapped on the roof. You can come to my house if you want to. I'll show you what a professional install looks like.
Nice.
3D Solar doesn't play when it comes to a professional install.
I like that. I want to remind you as well, we got our Veterans and Heroes Real Estate Success Summit coming up on Thursday, September 12th, 6 to 9 p.m. at American Legion Post 5, which is on Kennedy Boulevard here in Tampa. Captain Matt Bruce is going to be there. I'm going to be speaking about real estate. Diane Vance in studio here today. She's going to be speaking about some of the mortgage benefits. We're going to have an insurance expert there as well, Patrick Highland, talking about credit. William Crowley, the credit magician, is going to talk about credit improvement, finance, estate and tax planning. Attorney Joe Pippin is going to be talking about his estate plans. And I was at his office the other day working on my estate plan, and I said, how many of these have you done, Joe? Because he's got the longest running radio show of all attorneys, and I think any business, really, 27 years.
Wow.
He's done over 50,000 estate plans for people over his career. And he's got multiple offices, Jacksonville, all these different offices. But he's a super cool guy, great guy. And William Crowley, the credit magician. You guys met William? Mm-hmm. He's a ball of energy, so he's going to be really fun and entertaining. And, we're going to talk about credit improvement. And, I think for the veterans, too. And it's not just veterans. We call it Veterans and Heroes Success Summit, but essentially it's this is first responders, this is teachers. We want to talk to the paramedics, the EMS, the 911 phone operators. We want all those folks coming in because there's benefits there that they may not know about. I know right off the top for us at our Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty, what we're offering is a quarter to a half a point discount back to that veteran when they purchase or buy or sell with us. Mm-hmm. So and I know you guys do some special incentives as well.
We do. I'll have $500 coupons is what I'll do towards closing costs.
Nice. Yeah. Very cool. Yeah. So that helps out. $500 off your closing costs.
Yep. It'll pay for the appraisal.
And Travis, you mentioned you were with what group? You're veteran?
Air Force.
Air Force.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yep. Very proud of that.
Awesome, man.
Yep. Loved it. Good 4 years, and I recommend any young person who doesn't know where they're going, give it a try.
Yeah. Hey, get in there. Get in there. I had an opportunity to play football for the Naval Academy. I was recruited to play quarterback. I was an option quarterback coming out of school, but it was just too cold for me. I took the visit up there. They took me up in January. It was like freezing cold, You know, you got to square off your corners into dorm rooms and stuff. Like, oh, this is a little bit of a culture shock for me. It's tough, but it would have been fun playing on national TV, playing quarterback.
Oh, that would have been fun. Yeah, my son-in-law is a lifetime Army, and right now he's in. He's been there 14 years almost,
awesome.
So he's has some time yet. He loves it. So
yeah,
so
that's great. My dad was an MP. My biological dad, he passed when I was 10 years old, but he was an MP in the military, and a lot of my cousins and family members were. And
my father, my stepfather, my brothers, every one of them were all in the military. So
big military
family. Yep.
Yeah, McDill's right here.
Yep.
Protecting us. They're protecting us, and and I was talking to a gentleman yesterday. And he's into computer science with the military, and a lot of it's this computer attacks now. This online. It's like that whole new world of if I can seize your bank account, I can seize these things. It's like
we're very careful about wires.
Yes, exactly.
We've actually had money stolen.
Yeah,
we had like $160,000, but we were able to get it back.
Wow.
Because it wasn't even us. It was, unfortunately, it was
like a title company mistake.
Yeah, and they were able to get it back.
Yeah. Whew, gotta be careful out there.
Once you don't get it back, man, you will not get it back.
What's the rule? You call before you wire, right?
Yeah,
call
absolutely.
before you wire.
Call the title company. We send them the phone number. Call before you wire.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Hey, another great show. Diane, Vance, Travis, McIntire. Thanks so much to our whole team, our producers out there, our listeners and viewers. Follow us online at Brandon Rhymes 1 on Instagram and Twitter, and the Consumer Quarterback Show page on Facebook. And we'll see you next time. Go out there and commit a random act of kindness. We'll see you. Bye-bye.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Contact Brandon Rhymes at 813-670-7372. That's 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for The Consumer Quarterback Show. Weekday afternoons at 5 on AM 1380.
Are you a real estate agent looking to take your business to the next level and supercharge your marketing? Hi, I'm Brandon Rhymes, owner of Platinum MVP Realty and host of the Real Estate Quarterback Show, syndicated radio and TV show talk program on iHeartRadio, 102.5 The Bone, daily 5 o'clock drive time on 1380 The Biz, and our TV show is on WeBeam TV. We're looking for real estate agents that want to join our team and supercharge their marketing utilizing some of our innovative strategies. We utilize the Real Geeks platform, Facebook marketing, internet marketing, and a lot of the traditional methods as well. Postcard mailers mailed for you, postage, signage, business cards, all paid for by the company. Aggressive real estate splits and ways to help you win in any marketplace. We need you to go out, take applications, and work our plethora of leads that we're generating on a daily basis. Reach out by clicking the form below, and we'd love to have a confidential interview with you.